So as far as the Patriot movement, and that's what LWN is, we are part of many patriots out there searching for the truth and delivering the news like it should be delivered. All right. Hello, America. Good evening. Boy, I tell you what, it is a hot, hot summer. We hit triple digits here in Idaho. So today is Wednesday, August the 31st, 2022, the last day of August, and a very hot day in the news, and just a lot going on. So thanks for joining us tonight. As always, please like, subscribe, and share this out. I know a lot of you share these out. I see them all over the place, and I really do appreciate it when I hop on social media and I see that you guys have shared that out. It really helps build our base. I think we're now over 9,000 on this channel. We need just a couple over there on channel 2 to hit 19,000. We're getting ready to break 9,000 on Facebook. We broke 9,000 on Podbean. If you guys haven't checked out Podbean in a while, we've had some amazing Podbeans over there. And Rumble. Rumble continues to grow as well. So thank you guys for all that help. It is you guys who share that out that really helps this thing grow. And I've had some great conversations. Today, I reached out to probably about 20 people via email and through Messenger that I've met over the last week at the Missouri Truth Summit. And so some of them have already started responding to me. I've got a couple of them already booked. And let's see, Friday at, I believe it is 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe that's the time. I'm going to be on the Cincinnati radio waves in Ohio for the very first time. So that's going to be pretty amazing. I'm going to share that information with you guys tomorrow, and we'll have a good time on the radio waves. We'll see where that takes us. So that being said, we have a lot to talk about tonight. It's just me. You got Liberty Warrior tonight, and so many things that I'm paying attention to now. The biggest story of the day, which we will talk about tonight, toward the end of the show. We're going to talk about why it is that the Pope is giving the Vatican till September the 30th to move all of their money. Not some of their money, not a little bit of their money, not just what they have over here in this bank, but all assets, all money to be moved to the Vatican Bank immediately. We're going to talk about that tonight, what that means. I've got a few articles that we can read, a lot of people talking about it. But let's start off tonight with this. How many people love Major League Baseball? I've never really totally been a fan. I just can't really get into it. It's kind of like watching golf. Um, very slow for me when you're watching baseball, and no disrespect to everybody who loves baseball. I did play baseball in high school. Just I have a hard time sitting down and watching the game. I usually tend to tune in around World Series time sometimes to watch that. But that's about all of Major League Baseball I watch. Pretty much quit watching all Major League sports after they started taking a knee at the national anthem. So if you are a Major League fan, here's something you might want to know. 20 of the MLB teams promote or fund groups that perform child sex change operations. So if you are a Major League Baseball fan and you love to watch Major League, just wanted to throw this out there to you guys. An analyst by the National Review shows an unseemly trend among 20 Major League Baseball teams supporting organizations that perform sex change operations not on adults, on children. So, what is a child? Well, I believe that most people consider a child anyone under the age of 18. So, are they performing these operations on a 17-and-a-half-year-old? Are they performing this operation on a 16-year-old? Are they performing these operations on a 12-year-old? I have no idea. The magazine review reviewed the causes and the organizations to which these teams are handing out millions of dollars in donations and found that many support sex change surgery, hormone treatments, and other dangerous procedures for transitioning teens or preteens. I don't know how you feel about that, guys. I wanted to warn you guys because, like lamestream media, which is taking a huge hit, I reported today that Communist News Network is taking a massive, massive hit. Their ratings are so poor right now. They're getting ready to cut some of their prime time, and I know that other platforms out there are starting to cut their prime time because they can't pay the bills. Nobody's watching it. We're not paying attention. We're not being programmed any longer. So the National Review found that almost every team in the league promote or fund groups that encourage or provide sex change procedures and gender transition hormone treatment for minors as young as the age of 12. Other organizations promote social transitions, i.e., non-medical changes in gender expression, including the adoption of new names, pronouns, and clothing for children as young as the age of 3. Much of the support of these teams are lending. It's organized under the rubric of the widespread LGBTQ Pride Nights that the league pushes. So when you go to some of these major league baseball games or even basketball games, football games, who knows anymore, they always like to have a Pride Night. They always love to push that on our children. Along with the yearly events in the stadiums, the teams also donate money to a number of uh, advocacy groups, usually local groups, but often national groups as well. Um, the Detroit Tigers, for instance, support the Ruth Ellis Center and Cropetown Health in Detroit, the magazine noted. So, I know a lot of people love the Detroit Tigers, but sounds like some of their funds that they receive from ticket sales are going to some of these operations. Just wanted to make you guys aware of it. The magazine noted that the Tigers are only one example, and that the MLB Pride Resource Guide promotes a list of social justice groups that also push transgenderism on kids. Um, here's some of the pro teams. The report found that 5 teams promoted groups that pushed dangerous surgeries on trans kids, including the Detroit Tigers, the Boston Red Sox, the Milwaukee Brewers, the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Cleveland Guardians. 4 teams partner with organizations that provide counseling and referrals to use for such medical procedures. The list includes the LA Dodgers, the Pittsburgh Pirates, San Diego Padres, and the Oakland A's. So there you have it. Just thought I would kind of throw that out there tonight to you guys to let you know. The Major League Baseball season is starting to wind down. We're coming up on fall, which now all the pennant races start, the playoffs start, and then we roll into October, which is the World Series, I believe, is played sometime in October. So do what you must. If you're addicted to Major League Baseball and you support them, then so be it. But as far as I go, I just don't plan on watching any of it. I don't want them to get the ratings. I'm not going to buy any of their merchandise. I'm not going to promote any of that stuff because then they take that money and they turn around and they use it on our kids. Um, it's unfortunate, folks, and it's just something that I think we all need to be aware of. We've been lied to for so long that we just really need to pay attention to what's truly going on. And I think the more of us start waking up, the more of this information is shared. You guys share this information out. More people stop watching this stuff and supporting these teams. They're going to be hurting so bad. They're just not even going to be around anymore. They're going to have to do something. Their political views and political stances when it comes to sports announcers, pro athletes, and teams and managers, I think they have a right to their own opinion. I think they have a right to believe what they want to believe. But when they have such influence over children, I think it's wrong for them to use that influence, in my opinion, to promote things that destroy children. Just my opinion. All right, let's hit the next one. This one here, um, headline that I wanted to talk about before we get to the Pope tonight. So stick with us because we're going to talk about the Pope moving money toward the end of the show. China, Taiwan, it's really starting to heat up. China, I reported today that they're locking their people down yet again, and we're talking millions and millions of Chinese people who are being locked down due to an increase of the sickness. The government officials are actually going around some of the communities and putting up walls with barbed wire. Almost sounds like concentration camps, in my opinion. But China is also heated with Taiwan. But Taiwan fights back. So Taiwan fires live ammunition at Chinese drone for the first time. Yeah, so China is flying drones over Taiwan. Taiwan's had enough of it. So Taiwan's military fired live ammunition on a Chinese drone on Tuesday after the drone intruded into airspace above one of the sovereign islands nation's outer islets. And online newspaper Taiwan News reported nothing that the incident marked the first time that they used live ammunition to fire warning shots at the Chinese drone. So, what does this all mean? Where is this all headed? Um, I can't predict it. I'm not a military expert, but I do believe that it's just a matter of time before China comes across that border line into Taiwan. You know, we talked about it. I'm just going to rewind here for a moment and go back to Russia and the Ukraine. I'm going to go back to how we talked about Russia um, posturing and putting hundreds and thousands of boots on the ground, troops on the ground on the Ukraine border. We talked about it for a good at least 30 days, if not longer. And then here Russia comes. They come in and they invade the Ukraine. They start cleaning things up. Well, we've got China posturing and doing these type of things. And I'm just wondering how long is it going to be before China crosses that border? And I think it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. The tiny Taiwanese Army's Kemen Defense Command issued the following statement confirming that August 30th interaction, which was yesterday for them, today for us. Starting at 4:23 p.m. that afternoon, three branches of the three civilian drones each were detected flying over Dadan Island, Aranda Island, and Shi Inlet, respectively, in their country's township. After being warned by uh, Taiwanese soldiers with signal flares, the UAVs, which is an unmanned aerial vehicle, which is a drone, flew away from the islands and in the direction of China. At 5:59 p.m., another drone entered the airspace over the restricted waters and the Taiwanese troops again issued warnings in accordance with procedures. However, because the UAV drone continued to circle over the island, soldiers fired live rounds at the drone to drive it away. The drone then flew away in the direction of China yet again at 6 p.m. So um, they're flying over, getting an aerial view of where the Chinese or where the Taiwanese troops are and what's going on. Um, to me, that signals that they're out there doing that before they plan to cross the border. They're taking photos, I'm sure, seeing where everything is strategically placed. They're in Taiwan. How many boots on the ground they have, how many guns they have, how many vehicles, how many units they have on the ground before they cross the border. So could we see something happen here in the coming days from China into Taiwan? Taiwan's KDC warned on August 28th that any Chinese drone that intruded into Taiwanese airspace and failed to heed warnings by the island's military to leave would be shot down. They also issued the notice shortly after the video footage surfaced online showing repeatedly and um, expeditionally intrusion drone flyovers into Taiwanese airspace in the preceding days. Taiwan News reported on August the 28th that yet more footage and he had begun circulating on social media that captured Chinese unmanned aerial vehicles comprising Taiwanese military faculties. So that means they're down there, like I said, scouting. They're taking photos. They're sending back all that information. They're data collecting is what they're doing. So I don't know. It looks like the summer could end with a bang, so to speak. The Chinese People's Liberation Army, the PLA, launched 5 fire drills in the waters and airspace directly surrounding Taiwan on August 4th in a fit of outrage over Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. 24 hours earlier, the exercise officially lasted for 4 days, but were immediately followed by extending drills around Taiwan. So Nancy Pelosi flies over there, not under the direction of the resident in the White House and Congress. Nobody wanted her to go there, but she went there anyway. Why did she go there? I don't know. Speculation is she went there to fill her bags up with cash. Why else would she make a visit there? Especially after her husband just so happenly bought stock in the chip company out of Taiwan. So, and that just happened to be after Congress signed a bill in order that they were going to send Taiwan $52 billion for that chip manufacturer. So everything seems to be escalating. Lots of posturing going on around the world, and the world's on the brink. So a lot of people say. And I know that's probably not the news that you guys want to hear, but I'm just putting that out there, letting you guys know it's in the news. Keep an eye on it, see what's going on. And again, we're going to talk about the Pope here in just a few more minutes, which a few more minutes to me could be 20, but we'll see what happens. All right. I want to talk about California first. I'm going to talk about California. I'm going to talk about Trump, and then we're going to talk about the Pope. Here we go. I reported on it this morning in headline hits. All I can do is shake my head because ever since the resident in chief, whatever you want to call him, came to office, they've been pushing the Green New Agenda, the Green New Deal, climate emergency on not only us here in the United States, but people around the world. I just saw an article today where Boris Johnson, even though he's no longer the prime minister of the UK, he is getting on the pulpit again and telling everybody we need to continue on zero emissions. We need to continue this green agenda. So California, and those of you who listen to us in California, are about to pay the ultimate price. California is going to be the guinea pig. We're going to see how Californians react when there is no energy, when there is no power, when they go to the light switch and they flip it on and there's no power, when the temperatures in California continue to rise and you can't turn your air conditioning on. We're going to see people struggle, fight to survive just to stay cool. California is the guinea pig, folks. California Governor Newsom has made comment over and over and over again that by 2025, he wants all combustible engines gone. They want all electric vehicles in California no later than 2030. Well, folks, 2023 is right around the corner. So 2030 is not far off. And they keep pushing bill after bill to push combustible engines out. They have even signed a legislation where they are no longer able to build gas stations in some of the counties there in California. They're pushing this Green New Deal very, very hard. But here is the problem. Don't charge that electrical vehicle. California braces for emergency shortage through Labor Day. Now, California has been having energy problems, well, for quite a while, especially when it comes to summertime and everything heats up. They have rolling blackouts. And a lot of people suffer from that. But as they continue to focus on this Green New Deal and they continue to focus on pushing the combustible engine out and really try to push and force people to buy electric vehicles, what good are electric vehicles going to be if you can't even charge them? What good are electrical vehicles if you can't afford them? You're already living on a fixed income. How are you going to afford a $60, $70, $80,000 vehicle? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. California will suffer an energy shortage and flex alerts through Labor Day due to high temperatures, and residents will be asked to conserve electricity during the afternoons and evenings, which means refraining from charging electrical vehicles, among other things. So for all of you Californians that rushed out there to buy an electric car so you could be part of the green new agenda, so you could be uh, eco-friendly, now what are you going to do? You can't charge them. They're shutting that down. That doesn't mean they're going to shut it down 100%. I know the critics will say, but Mike, they can charge it on Mondays and Wednesdays. Yeah, they can. But the problem is if you work 5 or 6 days a week and that car burns all of that battery up in the first in one trip, how are you going to get to work if you can't charge your vehicle? It just doesn't make sense. The warnings come just days after the state finalized legislation to ban gasoline powered vehicles by 2035. Okay, sorry. I was off by 5 years. I know they're really pushing hard for 2030, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and push this legislation for 2035. Well, 2035 is less than 10 years away. As part of Governor Gavin Newsom's effort to shift the entire passenger fleet to electrical vehicles, it seems to help fight climate change. It's not going to work out so hot for them. How's that gonna work? Already Newsom and the state legislatures are scrambling to save the state's last remaining active nuclear power plant. So California, I guess, has a nuclear power plant, and they're scrambling to try to save it because they want to take it offline. They want to go to 100% renewable energy, which means wind and solar in California. California is a massive state. How are you possibly going to have enough windmills in the state of California to supply entire power grid for California? And solar panels, what are you going to do? Are you going to cover the entire state with solar panels? These people just have no common sense whatsoever. No common sense. The state has been at risk for electricity shortages for the past several years, thanks to the lack of new power plants and the unreliability of energy from wind and solar power. So, as an electrician, I've worked a little bit on some of this stuff, and I can tell you, I'm a fan of solar power when it comes to you putting panels on your house, on your roof, or maybe in your yard, but that it is very expensive and they don't have a long lasting life. I believe most batteries, because you have to have a battery system for solar, and the panels themselves maybe have a life around 10 years. So 10 years, that's quite an investment for 10 years. The wind turbines, I haven't really put my hands on much of that. I know the big turbines have some major issues. The small ones that you can put in your yard, I would be a fan of that if I could put it somewhere where it's not, an eyesore. But I think for a personal individual like myself, I'm not opposed to putting solar panels on my roof. I'm not opposed to throwing a windmill in my yard as long as it's not obstructive, um, just to create my own energy, not to save the planet, but to save money in my own pocket if it made sense. To live off grid, to not be connected to the grid so they have total control over me. That's what I would look at solar panels for. I would not look at solar panels or wind turbines for the future of our energy here in the United States or anywhere in the world for that matter. Matter of fact, the EU is having some major problems right now because now Russia is talking about shutting the pipeline down to the EU this winter, completely shutting it down. You guys really pissed him off. The EU did. Putin's not happy. And when he's got that kind of control over you guys, hey, buckle up. You might have to start burning your furniture for heat this winter. And I'm talking about the EU, not us here in America. I'm talking about the EU. Let's read a little further here before we get to Trump. Trump is next on my agenda. 2 years ago, Newsom urged Californians to sober up about the limitations of solar and wind power during a late summer energy shortage that resulted in rolling blackouts across much of the state. The state has not expanded its energy sources since then, though it has improved plans for energy shortages and expand battery capacity. That's it. That's all they've done in the last 2 years, folks. They haven't looked at any other kind of energy source. They haven't thought about maybe building a power plant. I've seen some new inventions, and this is something else that's ugly. There is an inventor out there that has created what you would call a wave generator. And it is a device that they lay on the surface or right below the surface of the ocean. And as the waves come in, it pushes the device and rolls the device to where it's like a windmill type of situation. It turns the generator, which creates the energy, and then sends it back to a substation. So let me ask you this question. Are we going to become a nation that our oceans and all of our waterways are covered with these ridiculous wave energy wave creators? Are we going to be a nation that's completely covered with windmills, solar panels? What happened to the beauty of America? When you drive along the interstate and you go through some of these states like Kansas, Wyoming, North Dakota, parts of southern Idaho. That's just to name a few. I know windmills are all over the country, but as you're driving out through the landscape and you look out there and see all those windmills, how is that beauty? And they only provide 1.9% of the total power for the power grid in the United States. You guys know that? All of those ridiculous windmills that you see all the way across this country only contributes 1.9% of the total power consumption of this nation. Kind of seems like a waste, doesn't it? Let's look at the schedule that they're talking about. So here is the flex alerts for California. If you're listening from California, you're probably already aware of this. Um, it's a several step plan here. So they want you to turn your thermostat up to 78 degrees. So for your air conditionings in your homes there in California, like me here in Idaho, I can turn mine down to 68, 69 degrees at night, 72 during the day. They want you to set your thermostat at 68 degrees or 78 degrees. Sorry, 78 degrees. Well, if you're home all day long, 78 degrees is pretty warm. And the problem is by late afternoon, when that sun really heats your house up, your air conditioner is going to have a hard time keeping up when you go to turn that thing down at night so you can sleep. So I guess you're supposed to live uncomfortably in your home. But here's the question: do you think the politicians, do you think Gavin Newsom and the rest of them are going to turn their thermostats up to 78 degrees during these rolling blackouts? Or do you believe somebody like Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi will crank their thermostats down low to 68 degrees so they can be comfortable during the day? Step one: heat waves hit our state harder every summer. And when it's extra hot, we use more electricity to help stay cool. Step two: but all the energy use puts a strain on our energy sources. And if we use too much power, outages can occur. It's not that they can, it's that they will. California has been experiencing them um, for probably almost a decade now, if not longer. The good news is that these outages are preventable. All you have to do is sign up for Flex Alerts to know when to save energy. So they've got everybody on a program. Everybody's on a program. Before 4 p.m., you can pre-cool. Run your AC cooler during the day to enjoy a cooler evening. Between 4 and 9 p.m., set your thermostat at 78 degrees. Take the load off the AC and get your thermostat to 78 degrees or higher if you can stand it. Why don't you go ahead and just turn that thermostat up to 90 degrees while Nancy Pelosi keeps hers down around 68. Chores: use major appliances every earlier and enjoy your evening worry free. And delay: take a load off your appliances and delay dishes and laundry until the morning. So here they have a complete schedule for you guys there in California so you can help with the rolling blackouts. Enjoy the sun in the AM and adjust your window coverings in the PM to keep your home cooler. Now, I will agree with that. I know a lot of people say, well, in the summertime, I like to open up all the shades and I like to let the sunshine in. I want natural light to come in my house. Well, in these hot months like this, that window definitely magnifies that sun's energy when it comes into your home, and it heats your house up very very quickly. In the summertime, people make fun of me. They say, "Why do you like living in a cave?" Because I close all my window blinds in the summer, and it's to try to keep the house cooler. I mean, I'm no fool. I don't like. I can't sleep at night if it's in the mid to high 70s or higher. I can't sleep. I need it cooler. Take a load off your lights and turn what you don't need off. Uh, make it a game. It could be fun. So that's their plan for the rolling blackouts there in California. It's just like the drought when we all experience a drought. I know California is big on it. Idaho sometimes is too. When we hit a very difficult time, um, they always tell us here in Idaho when we're in a drought, odd number, odd house numbers, um, water your yard on odd number days, and even number house numbers. Water your yard on the even number days to try to help with the drought that we sometimes have here in Idaho. And I know they do the same thing in California as well. So I don't know. I think California, you guys are in for a little bit of trouble. And for those of you who went out, rushed out, and bought those electric cars, I hope they work out for you. So California will continue to re-app the blackouts it sows. So they're the ones who have really um, sown this. They're going to reap what they sow. So the grid reliability California creates its own problems and doesn't seem keen on stopping. The California blackouts have been a long time coming, years of poor policy. So remember, John Estabrooks and I were talking about last night. Hold these people accountable for the words they use and hold these people accountable for their policies. So those of you that live there in California, the next time that you go to the voting box, instead of voting blue, maybe some of those people should start considering voting conservative, because it is the Democrat policies that's destroying California right now. You know, I was born in California, and I absolutely love California. I think California is a very, very beautiful state. I think 150 years ago, California had a lot to offer to people. Even 70 years ago, it had a lot to offer. So many people. There were so many people that traveled across the country and went to California to chase their dreams. The problem with California is their policies and their policy makers. Their problem in California is their ideologies and all the nonsense that they continuously push and the propaganda. The problem with California is their universities and how they push socialism and communism in California. That's California's problem. And I know the ones that are listening to us from California tonight, you're not the problem. But we got to find a solution to the problem because California deserves so much better. So years of poor policy and decision making in California have contributed in the grid that is overly unreliant and intermediate and dependent on wind and solar electricity imports from nearby states. So California has a problem where they don't even have enough energy for their own state. They're actually importing it from other states. I know Washington, Oregon, Idaho, from our hydro dams are also importing our power into parts of the state of California. California energy policy continuously forces reliable base load energy generation offline in favor of wind, solar, and even worse, no replacement at all. So they don't even have a plan. They don't have a plan at all. It's just California is just sad. It's very sad. And there's other states that follow suit with that. So California, my prayers are with you guys. I really hope we can get some people in office in California that can start making a difference and better this for you guys. All right, let's hit Trump. Let's talk about the orange man bad. So remember, we reported earlier this week the statement that Trump made about being rightful, about being put back in place. I got to watch how I say this stuff. So I went out to the left purposely. I started doing some research on the left to see what kind of stuff are they putting out about this statement. So I want to read a little bit of it to you, out there to see, why is your neighbor feeling this way? Why is your mom and dad feeling this way? Certain friends at work or family members, why do they feel that this man's crazy? Why do they label us crazy? Why do they say we're conspiracy theorists? Because listen to some of the lamestream media. This is the propaganda. This is the mouthpiece that we talk about. Trump demands reinstatement as rightful, and I can't say any more other than that. You know what I'm talking about. And he's demanding it to happen immediately, as some Republicans seek to distance themselves from him. So this is only my opinion. But I want to tell you Republicans out there, you Republican lawmakers, whether you're a senator or a congressman, if you're going to choose to distance yourself from Trump when your country needs you most, we're going to be looking for you at the voter box. because we're going to remove you. It's time for you guys to go. And you know who you are. You know you're traitors to this country, and you know what happened in November of 2020. And if you're not willing to stand up and go toe to toe with what is rightfully and justfully uh, deserving to the American people, then I feel it's time for you to leave office. That's just my opinion. You guys take it for what it's worth. Donald Trump is seeking reinstatement. Um, it follows after the news from Facebook limited a story about Hunter Biden's laptop. And here is some of the things that they're saying. And this is the stuff that really infuriates me, to be honest with you. Former President Donald Trump demands reinstatement. And I got to kind of skim through this article and read it because there's wording in there I cannot use. Um, but Trump was responding to a Facebook, now Meta, CEO Mark Zuckerberg comments on the Joe Rogan's podcast. If you guys missed that the other day, I brought that up. Um, they were posting the story about the laptop, and he said that it fit the pattern of polarizing content, including Russia propaganda that the FBI had warned the company about. The laptop story had several red flags that raised questions about its authenticity, and Zuckerberg said Facebook limited its reach on its site's news feeds for only 5 to 7 days. All right, Mark Zuckerberg, you are a lying sack, and you know what? You did more than just limited its reach. For those of us who continue to repost it and talk about it and comment it, you censored us. You took it down. You put a lot of people in Facebook jail. So that is a bold faced lie, and we know it. We know that Facebook lies. We know Zuckerberg lies. We know the FBI lies. The FBI is in some hot trouble, just so you guys know right now. There are FBI agents. I got word on this last night. FBI agents that are actually being arrested. Just throwing that out there. Trump's statement on social media doubles down on his claims, and I'm just going to leave it there. And Republicans are trying to distance themselves from his personal grievances ahead of the midterm elections in November, reported by the Washington Post. Again, any Republican out there, any person, any candidate claiming that they're a Republican that is distancing themselves from this story, I'd start looking at a different candidate to vote for. Just saying, just saying. We know the truth. The truth has been out there for quite a while. So here's some of the comments that were put out on Twitter. We're about 10 weeks before the 2020 midterms, and Donald Trump is still openly talking about undoing, rejecting what happened in 2020, which still can't happen legally or logistically. Okay, so I have to totally disagree with Stephen Flounder or Fuller, whatever his last name is. I can care less. That is wrong. There is something that can be done. Steve Bannon has been talking about it. We talked about it here at LWN quite a while ago. Over a year ago, we talked about it. What is that? Well, it states in the Constitution that if they can't certify, then it goes to a state 1-to-1 vote. And nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. Fox News isn't talking about it. Other outlets aren't talking about it. But yes, there is something that can be done. If the evidence is found and it is legit, which I've seen it, I definitely believe it's legit, then Congress would reconvene and it would be a 1-to-1 state vote. So yes, he could be reinstated. Absolutely. This guy, the resident in charge, whatever you want to call this guy, he can and will be removed. Here's another one. As we've said, nothing about, now listen to this. As we've said, nothing about the Hunter Biden laptop story is new. Below is what Mark told Senator Johnson in October 2020 and what Mark told Joe Rogan this week. The FBI shared general warnings from foreign interference, nothing specific about Hunter Biden. That's a bunch of crap. That's a load of crap. We all know it. They're minimizing this. This is the spin from the left. I'm showing you guys this tonight so that when you get in conversations with your family, your friends, your coworkers, this is the spin. These are the talking points that you're going to hear at the water cooler. Trump has been railing against the FBI since agents searched his Mar-a-Lago home earlier this month for classified documents. So this is the spin. I'm going to give you a heads up on this. They're going to try to claim that Donald Trump is doing this on purpose so that when he's indicted for the documents out of Mar-a-Lago, which I seen photos this morning on those documents, and guess what? I can't believe any of those documents were actually there because why? Because they required the cameras to be turned off in Mar-a-Lago. We have no idea what kind of documents were planted into that evidence, right? I'm going to say it. I'm not afraid to say it. So they're now going to say, here's the spin. Donald Trump is saying all this ridiculous stuff so that when he gets indicted, he has, I can't even make this up, an insanity plea. That's what they're saying. Trump won't be reinstated after losing in November, which we all know he did not. Although Anon conspiracy theorists spread that idea around a year ago, the New York Times Maggie Hagerman said last year that Trump was telling allies that even he thought that he'd be reinstated as well. Well, folks, this is all I can tell you. The evidence is there. I've seen enough of it myself to know that if something isn't done about this, it's not going to be good. If something is not done about this, there's going to be more trouble than I think a lot of people realize. And that's all I'm going to say. All right, let's move on to the Pope. So, the big news in the news cycle today is that the Pope put out a statement. The Pope sent out a hurried up legal memo. And that's exactly what it is called. It is a hurry up legal memo to move all assets and all money to the Vatican bank by September 30th of this next month. Why is he doing that? I'm giving you guys a heads up. I've been watching some economists today as I was researching this stuff, and I know we've talked about it lots of times here at LWN about an economic collapse and what could happen. We are in a recession. A lot of people think we're going to face a depression. We've talked about the Great Reset. We've talked about quantum financial system. We talked about a lot of things here at LWN. So is this a flag? Is this something that you, my listener, should be aware of? Pope Francis issued a rescript Tuesday emphasizing that all Vatican departments and institutions are required to move their investments and cash to the Institute for Works of Religion, commonly known as the Vatican Bank, within the next few weeks. At first glance, the document appeared to be a little more than a, quote, hurry up, end quote, legal memo to Cornell departments, giving them until the end of September to finish bringing their cash and investments back to the Vatican's own institutions from outside banks and accounts. But a close read and short text points to something else. It turns out that Francis's order on Tuesday could be one of more significant financial policy changes um, of his uh, of his group there. So a lot of speculation, a lot of people throwing up red flags about this stuff, folks. And this is what I'm going to tell you. I'm no professional. I'm no economist. I don't play the stock market anymore. I've lost too much money there. This is what I'm going to tell you about the Pope. When people like this are making these types of massive moves quick and in a hurry, we should really pay attention. We should really, really pay attention because there's a reason, in my opinion, that they're making these very quick moves. Pope Francis instructs Vatican entitlees to move all funds to Vatican Bank by September 3rd, according to Francis's transcript. Financial and liquid assets held in banks other than the IOR must be moved to the Vatican Bank within 30 days of September 1st of 2022. I don't know, man. Again, it's kind of one of those things that when you see something like this happen, buckle up. The IOR based in the Vatican City State has 110 employees and 14,519 clients. As of 2021, it looked after 5.2 billion euros, which is $5.6 billion of its clients' assets. And it's telling everybody move your stuff to the Bank of the Vatican right now. I don't know. According to the annual report, the financial institution's 19 million net profit in 2021 was also down from 44 million in 2020 and 46 million in 2019. So they're making a move. I'm going to jump back into the software real quick. They're making a move. The church is making a move. Who else is going to make a move? I think in the coming days, the coming weeks, we need to pay attention. I'm going to reach out to Andy. I want to see what else is going in the financial realm. Who else is making massive moves right now? A professor warns that the U.S. is sitting on the brink of a deeper recession. Where do we go from a recession? We go into a depression. That's where we head. And then we have collapse. And then again, we talk about it. A reset of some sort, whether it's the Great Reset, whether it's quantum financial system coming in. A lot of experts right now are saying that when the Vatican moves this type of money this quickly, then it signals some type of reset coming, and it's going to be mostly digital. Um, but I believe, and it's only my belief, that a lot of it will be gold back. Appearing Wednesday on Fox News Channel's Brian uh, Benberg, who serves as an executive vice president and associate professor of business at King's College, said that the United States is sitting on the brink of a deeper recession. With this economy, folks, the Biden inflation, how can you see anything else other than that? It's rough out there right now. But I want you guys to keep the keep the faith and keep the hope, because I truly believe that Biden is not in control. This is what I believe. I believe Biden is a puppet. I believe there are people behind the scenes pulling his strings, but I also believe that there is a major opposition out there. And what is that opposition? Well, it's the stuff that we talk about here all the time. I believe that Trump is aware of it. I believe Trump is part of it. I believe the military is also part of it. And I believe that this has to happen before they can reset, in my opinion, a better standard of fiat of currency, whether it's fiat. I know some people still call it a digital fiat. I don't know the definitions between digital fiat, but I believe that it's just right around the corner, folks. Here we are. The summer is almost over. Things have heated up. Things are getting hot. We got rolling blackouts. We got all kinds of hot temperatures across the nation. Mar-a-Lago happens. Trump comes out and makes his statement. Devolution. If you guys are interested, thanks for dropping that, Tracy Q. I appreciate it. If you guys are interested in purchasing any precious metals, you guys can go to the link there Tracy's provided. It's info@milesfranklin.com. get a hold of Miles Franklin, Andy and his team. They're great people to work with. You guys can use promo code Liberty Warrior Nation. Yes, it does help out this channel, and I appreciate it. But if you guys feel like maybe this is the time for you to make a move, that the financial collapse could be right around the corner, especially with the Vatican signaling like this, then make the move. Whatever you can comfortably afford. Don't go, taking out a second mortgage on your home. Don't spend your entire paycheck on it. Go down to your local pawn shop, buy a coin or two. If you can afford more than that, reach out to Miles Franklin, place an order today, get yourself on some physical silver or gold, and just buckle up for what I call turbulence. I think it's going to be a little bit of a bumpy ride. I think there's going to be a huge scare when things collapse and people are going to freak out. But for those of you who listen to LWN, for those of you who listen to other like-minded influencers, and we're always out there encouraging you guys to just make sure that you're prepped and prepared for a little bit of a rough time. We don't have anything to stress out about. We don't have anything to worry about. We got a little bit of food in the cupboards, a little bit of gas in the tank, a little bit of silver in our pocket, and we'll get through these rough times together. But that whole move from the Pope is something that I really believe you guys should pay attention to. I know I'm going to, and as this thing continues to unfold, I will keep my ears to the ground. I will put that information out for you guys. I'll talk to Andy and see if there's anything that you guys really need to know, and get that information out to you guys. But thanks for joining me tonight. I truly appreciate it. Thank you guys on YouTube. Thank you guys over there on Facebook. Thanks for sharing all this out. Thank you for all the likes tonight, and for the subscriptions. I know this channel is starting to take off again after we got taken down from Channel 2. So thanks for finding us again. Love you all. God bless. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hoping for a sincere performance, but open to finding the moment, to finding out where I'm headed now. Looking for a sign of disaster, so I can make it there faster. I'm weighing the consequences out. I can see in all directions. It's all open to interpretation, but I see colors that are breaking from the other side, the other side. When I make mountains out of summer trails, when I buckle under all the details, I'll keep going till I make it to the other side, the other side. Can you tell me the secret of how you can take it or leave it? How you can blend in with the crowd? I'm so scared, so damn afraid to look. I'm so sick of talking. I'm wearing the words out, words out. I can see in all directions. It's all open to interpretation, but I see colors that are breaking from the other side, the other side. When I make mountains out on the back.